Yeah,
that
so
minor little.
yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
You did get to go see
The Dallas Summer Musicals, The Bodyguard.
yeah.
Yeah, that was super fun, and I got to go to the cast party afterwards. That was fun, yeah.
And let me just pull this up.
Perfect.
Oh, hey, we're live. How about that?
Perfect.
I mean, that's just like we knew we were live.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, sorry about all the cursing beforehand. Joking. This is Morgana Wood, Miss Texas, Miss Travis County. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
This is, we totally just didn't do an interview, so this is, I'm just meeting for the first time now. Welcome to KView. Tell us what this last month has been like since taking home the crown.
Man, it has been a complete whirlwind. You know, the fastest month, most fast-paced months of my life. You know, I'm doing something new every single day. That's probably one of the hardest parts about being Miss Texas or being Miss America, is that you don't have a set schedule, is that you do something new every single day. So the best way to cope with it, honestly, is to go home, take off your makeup, get in bed, and then start looking at your calendar and say, okay, what do I have to do tomorrow? So that's, you know, it's definitely a big transition. So lots of new things, but mainly just preparation for Miss America. I'm leaving at the end of August, and I'll be there for 2 weeks, and then Miss America finals are on September 10th. So it's lots of preparation for that and lots of packing for that. So.
And that's in New Jersey, I believe.
Yes, in Atlantic City, yes.
My home state.
Oh,
so
yeah, there we go.
That's a point for the Yankees. Tired of hearing that down
Oh,
in
yeah.
Texas, so I got to say that for myself now. You are a Longhorn. So
Yes,
you
I
are,
am.
So you
Hook
know
'em
Austin
horns.
quite well.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing to do in Austin?
Man, I mean, that's really tough, but I love exploring all the different food trucks.
Okay, good.
I
Good
mean,
answer.
Austin's got a whole lot of really great food, and even though I can't enjoy it right now as I'm prepping for Miss America, the food here is impeccable, and you know, gotta rep Torchy's Tacos because that's where it all began. So.
We're big fans of Torchy's
Oh
here,
yeah,
so,
yes, love me some Torchy's for sure.
If you were to have said any not food or music answer, I would have just, you know.
I know, it's not even acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, people are like, I like to run outside. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, that's
do
great
you.
too. That's
Yeah,
great too.
it's fine,
but it's
but
all about the food,
I like
honestly.
barbecue,
Yes.
exactly. So you've had a chance to kind of explore a bit of Texas
Yes.
over the past month or so. I know you have ties to Austin, ties to Houston.
Yes.
You're up now in Dallas. What has the experience been like just traveling across the state? Because it's a fairly large state.
Yes, I mean, it's a huge state, and honestly, you can say that Texas, two farthest points in Texas are farther than some states are across the country. So yes, as you can imagine, it's a huge state and lots of traveling. So thankfully, I have really generous sponsors like Grubbs Infinity and Grapevine, Texas, who have provided me with a car to drive throughout the year, and so they've been awesome. And it's a really nice car, it's very safe, but more than that, it's a lot of traveling, and you just have to kind of cope with that. For me, I'm not used to traveling that much, but thankfully, I have wonderful volunteers that have volunteered their time to come with me to all these places. I have traveling companions. Today, my parents are my traveling companions, but more often than that, I have volunteers that have sacrificed their time to be with me and to help me with whatever I need on that day. So they travel with me, make sure that I don't fall asleep at the wheel because it is a lot of driving. So.
How often do you take off the sash? Is that something that's kind of stapled onto the body now? Is that?
Well, that's absolutely, yes, we staple. The crown is
yeah.
absolute. This is Velcro, so that comes off a little easier.
Okay.
But the crown is stapled on. It
Yeah,
stays
pretty
on
much,
forever,
yeah.
pretty much.
It
yeah.
hasn't moved. Like,
No,
You've
yeah.
gotten up.
Yeah.
You like sprinted a couple laps around here very oddly. But yeah, that crown does not move. It's pretty impressive.
Yes, but no, the crown does come off eventually.
Okay.
It's nice to sleep without it.
What relationships have you made so far with some of your other Miss respective states,
Yeah.
whether it's Oklahoma or Florida, New Jersey, whoever it is? Have you had a chance to meet all 50?
Yes,
50,
so
yeah, 50 states.
yes, so
Cool.
we just got back
Yeah.
from Orlando where we were cheering on our teens compete in the Miss America's Outstanding Teen pageant, but also that was our official Miss America orientation, and it was the first time that all of us were together. It was the first time all of us got to meet each other, so that was really exciting. So I actually got to spend the week with Miss Tennessee, Katie Davis, and she is awesome. It's a tradition now that during orientation week, Miss Tennessee and Miss Texas will always be roommates during orientation.
Is that because on every drop-down menu, Tennessee is always right before Texas?
You would think so, but no, our directors are just very close friends, and so they want us
Sure.
to be really good,
Sure.
close
Yeah,
friends.
exactly.
And absolutely, we definitely are. We've hit it off really fast, but also loved hanging out with Miss Oklahoma, loved hanging out with Miss Alabama, Miss Mississippi. And then also after our Miss America orientation, a few of us spent a few extra days in Orlando because we have the unique opportunity to be Fueling Good ambassadors for Citgo. So there are only 9 of us from the Miss America class that have this unique opportunity. So of course, those of us that were in that got really close. So again, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, we're all pretty close.
Now, I don't want to give away too much of the story, but I do feel it is important that you do talk about your initiative.
Yes.
And why it's so personally important to you, because you have a connection to it.
Absolutely. So my personal platform is You Belong, creating the first judgment-free generation. And that's really important to me because it stems from my personal experience of having been bullied throughout middle school and high school. But for me, when I went to college and took a few years off just to be Margana, I realized that bullying is everywhere. It is not just a young person's problem. Absolutely, it is prevalent in the K-12 education system, but it's everywhere. It's in the workplace, it's online, it's even in the home. And so I personally find it so important to bring this to light and redefine what bullying is. It is not the stereotypical image of the skinny nerd being beat up by the big jock. It's everywhere and it's in everyone's problem. So rather than sliding it under the rug, my initiative as Miss Texas and hopefully as Miss America is to bring this issue to light and hopefully unite our country.
Do you feel sometimes the perception is you guys are on stage, you guys are doing all, you're getting all this attention, you get to meet all these cool people that there's no way they could have been bullied? Why is it important that you kind of, like you said, break down that barrier and kind of show people that you're just like anybody else?
Actually, I just had this conversation yesterday.
You can steal that answer, by the way.
Well,
so
yes.
I'll be watching for and I'll be telling people, I told her that.
Yes,
That was me.
but I was in Lindale yesterday meeting with the sponsor. It was the first time I'd met her because I've only been crowned for a month. So first time I'd met with the sponsor, we were just sitting down and talking, and all of a sudden she's asking me about my platform, and I start hearing her voice start to crack. And she begins to tell me, this is the exact thing that my daughter is experiencing right now. And so for me, it's especially important to use the title that I have to speak for people who are having similar experiences. So for me, it's really important to take that initiative, take the next step forward and really promoting this message. Absolutely, Miss America provides you with a platform to do it nationally and not just statewide and not just locally. So it's a really cool opportunity.
When you do get to hear those stories, does it kind of hit home a little bit more in terms of like you are actually having a chance to make a difference in somebody's life?
Absolutely, and those are probably some of the most defining moments of my year. It means that I've done my job. For me, it's really important to remember, and any former Miss Texas or any local contestant, wherever they are in Texas or any other state, it's important to remember that your job as your local title holder, as your state title holder, even as your national title holder, it's not about you. When you walk into a room, it's not about the crown, it's not about the sash, but rather it's about how you impact those people in their daily lives. Are you positively impacting them? Have you made an imprint on their life? Have you made them smile that day? Because if you have, that means you've done your job.
Do you feel your answers to every question are now in like 30-second bites? Have you kind of practiced it down that?
Well, I'm trying to get it down to that 20-second mark.
20. See, there you
because
go.
At that point, Miss America will cut you off.
See,
but
my joke failed due to lack of knowledge on the second system. I was convinced it was 30.
No, it's actually 20.
You just slapped me down. So
Yeah.
Thank you. We're not on Facebook Live, so we don't have people watching us right now. Any final message to folks who may be watching? I know you obviously have been very open about growing up and this helping you kind of find your identity. But for those who may be the Morgana that you were 10 or 15 years ago, what message would you have to them?
My platform right now is called You Belong, and as the name implies, it's reminding people that they do belong. Unfortunately, there are so many people in this world that don't feel safe in their own home, that don't feel as though they are included and don't feel like as though they should be included, but in reality, they are, and they are American citizens, and we want them here. So my message to everyone, regardless of where they come from, regardless of their age, regardless of their ethnicity, is that they do belong. And so for anyone watching right now, I hope that they register that regardless of who they are, I want them here, and then hopefully that everyone else wants them here as well. So
coolest thing you've got to do since you've had the crown?
Man, I think that
besides this interview.
So besides this interview, yes, this has probably been the number one. But I think number two, close number two, is probably being able to throw the first pitch at the Rangers game. That was pretty awesome. Got to warm up my arm again. I used to play softball.
Okay.
But, you know, it was a lot farther than I thought it was. So thankfully, I'll have that opportunity again when I go into Sugar Land. I'll throw the first pitch at the Skeeters game. So I kind of know what I'm doing now. So,
yeah,
yes.
That was like the warm-up.
Yeah, exactly. It was the warm-up. So, and then also I have the opportunity to go to the Dallas Summer Musicals and see Broadway musicals that are touring across the nation. So right now I've seen The Bodyguard, Whitney Houston, My Girl. It was awesome. You know, dying to go back. They're touring in Houston again, so I might have to go back.
We'll give Dad a shout out for the baseball answer.
Yes.
He's play back there, but
thanks, Dad.
There's some credit. September 10th in Atlantic City. You can catch it all here on KV, and we'll be having some coverage. Make sure to log in to KV.com and follow Morgana as she competes to bring the crown home, because it belongs back here in Texas. I think.
I think so too. It's about time. Yes.
And that's going to be in a bigger crown.
Yes,
right?
It'll be stapled.
So
to
what are
my
you going to do
head.
with that crown?
I don't know.
Have it.
No, it's still stapled on.
So you just have a crown on top of a crown?
A crown on top of a crown.
That's a lot of crowns.
If I can get it off, I'll send it to you.
Like a double sash would be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
That's a new style. I like that.
Yeah, setting trends over here.
There you go. That's what we do. I'm Michael. That's Morgana. Thank you so much.